it's Friday. I was going to say, oh my gosh, I was just going to say it's Friday, it's 5 o'clock and it's crackerjack, but it's not. Where did that come from? It's Friday, it's 3 o'clock and it's us. We're live on Facebook again. So welcome everyone. Oh my gosh, it's so great to see you. Hey Emma, hey Jamie, how's your week been, Jamie?
My week has been amazing.
Has it?
It really has. Honestly, I can't wait to talk about it. It fits so perfectly with Pain to Purpose. It's been a really, really great week for me of connecting with some amazing women. So I can't wait to talk about that.
Oh, good. So, Emma, how's your day been? We saw each other this morning.
Oh, yes, we did, didn't we? Yes, I have been painting and I just suddenly remembered, oh my days, the time I need to like make myself look a bit half decent. So I am actually covered in paint, but it doesn't matter.
Can't tell.
Okay, well, the reason why we're doing these shows again is obviously because we're on a lockdown still here in UK, and in our industry, in the hair and beauty industry, we still can't go back to work. So what's really important, well, I've noticed today, somebody sent me a link about a salon in America who hasn't well, they didn't sort of stay on lockdown. She opened a salon in late April and is still open, and I do believe has served a week in prison. Did you know about that? Anyone?
Gosh, that's bad.
No, honestly.
That is bad.
Yeah, I know. So, you know, it's all about this week. We've been talking about pain to purpose and how is your persecution giving you a provision to do something else. So it's all the P's and we're all getting our tongues tied a bit. So and we've had a really interesting week. We're going to put our recording on of Karen Kelly, who joined us last night. We were here, we just couldn't get a link online for some reason. So we did record that. So we are actually going to be popping that over onto our Facebook page over the weekend. And again, you can go over to YouTube and check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us if you want to, like us. We've had some great feedback and we're actually getting numbers up now, which is brilliant. When I look at stats and things, this has just come from nothing, honestly, hasn't it? Just a bit of a laugh. Thought, oh, you know, let's get some friends together, let's get some clients together, let's get some people we know together. So Emma, tell us about what you've encountered as one of your pain moments or times when it's actually giving you a purpose to carry on. Or
do you know what, I think for me personally, the biggest thing for me was when my marriage broke up, and how do I describe it? I was so low that it was affecting Molly, so I saw that and I had to turn everything around and just sort myself out basically and get on with it. But it was very difficult because, and the reason why I'm explaining this story is because Molly didn't sleep through the night until she went to school, in fact. So every night she was awake. And it was really difficult because I just, you know, single mom on your own, you just want help, don't you? But being so proud, I didn't want to ask for help. And basically I was told by Molly's dad that if you can't cope, Molly will have to come and live with me, which devastated me. So I never asked for help again. I just got on with it and dealt with it. And then it's all these years later that I became involved with Safe Families for Children. And it's a faith-based charity where people like myself and Molly, my daughter, she helps as well, where we help other people who need help, who have had the strength to ask for help. So I feel the story is, if you need help, ask for it and don't be ashamed, because I was, and it doesn't get you anywhere. So if ever you're in a situation where you just feel like you need to talk to somebody or you need to ask for help, don't be afraid, just do it.
Yeah.
So that's main.
Thank you so much for sharing
story.
that. Thank you for sharing that. I could see how it, like, sort of, I could hear the emotion get a little bit caught in your throat when you mentioned her father saying that he was going to take her to live with him, and I could see your body language, like, sort of holding yourself a little bit at the beginning of that story.
Yeah.
So that was a really personal thing for you to share. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, it's quite a strange thing, isn't it? So you basically then the purpose of and what's provided you is a chance to find something and seek a way to help other people overcome problems. Is that right, Emma? So the good story out of that is the fact that you don't want other people, you want to support other people that may be going through a similar thing themselves, which do you want to tell us a little bit about Safer Families, how that actually works? Because some of our clients, honestly, I can't believe the empathy and compassion of people that want to help and support. When we talk to a lot of our clients, especially when their own children may have flown the nest, and they're longing for people to help and things to do in terms of like younger children, how can they support people? I know one of my missions is helping single parents, whether that's a dad with children or a mum with children. So Safer Families sounds like, how does it work out?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. I was introduced to Safe Families for Children through Anne, who was on here the other week. And I just thought, do you know what, I could do that. I was at a stage in my life where things have been changing, and I'd got a bit of time where I thought I could give up like a couple of weekends a month or one weekend a month where I could help somebody else. And then Molly decided she wanted to jump in as well and help. So it was great, because Molly's brilliant with young children. And our first family, we're basically classed as a host family, which is the most you can do, basically. So we have we support a family, and we have the children or the child come and stay at our house to give respite to the parent or the parents who, for whatever reason, may be struggling. You can be a family friend where you can just go and have coffee and a chat or give advice. So we've supported 2 families now, and we're still in touch with our first family, and I'm sure Natalie wouldn't mind me saying a little Amelia, I'm always going on about Amelia. Everyone must be
everybody knows Amelia.
She's just adorable, and we're still in touch, and it's lovely that Natalie feels that she still has trust in us, and it's a great charity, and just waving at Cam.
Actually, Cam said he would join us this afternoon, so is it in our... Oh, are you coming now? Oh, okay, here's Cam. So Cam,
hi.
So Cam, we're live on Facebook at the moment. Keep it clean, and we're in a very lovely moment, really. We're talking about Safer Families and what some of our clients do in terms of helping people, and what have you sort of seen Salon over the years with the way we help the young children, some of the single parents that come in? We do, don't we? Just chat with them. So
I think there's a generation thing. I noticed that the older generations don't tend to talk about stuff like that and emotions and stuff.
Do you think?
But as a younger generation, now that it's more public and open,
Yeah.
people just sort of knock it off like, yeah, I'll do this and that. Just get on with it.
Is that quite, I know that sort of, people would generally say that's quite American. You know, British people tend to sort of, what do you think? What's your, opinion on that?
Yeah, I think there's a huge cultural difference with the way that people share with each other. I also think there's a generational difference with the way that people share, and Cam's right. I think the younger generation is more willing to talk about those, in-depth things, and I don't think they're as fearful of judgment. Maybe, it's a very general statement because obviously it really depends on the person. Generally speaking, I would say, yeah, Americans are really open, and I'm not really sure why that is. I'm not sure if that's just, I don't know why it is. I don't know if it's just an uncomfortableness with the British people, or if they just want to be polite, or if you don't want to put on people, or you just don't want to impact the people around you negatively, so everything around UK life is to keep things sort of pleasant, to keep things polite and pleasant and neat and tidy. And I think Americans are just willing to be a little bit messier than that sometimes, good and bad. So
what we thought, obviously with our chat shows that have now developed into sort of this growing, don't go because we need you, what is growing into sort of like, something a little bit more. Jamie, you've had an incredible week, haven't you, with people contacting you on the back of your live performances, in terms of whether it's either on here or Jamie and I, and we have a LinkedIn account which is a lot more sort of business like, and tell us a little bit about the pain that you've gone through to give you the provision in order to give you the confidence to go on these webinars to pick up business. That's probably what we're talking about. We're going to move over to you in a minute. Sorry,
turning your pain into your problems. I think it's the one thing that means the most to me. I think it's why I do what I do. Some of the most painful time in my life, it hasn't been for a long time, but certainly I've come from being 19 and homeless and in an abusive relationship to being really successful at helping other people, and having a really loving and lovely relationship with the most amazing person. And actually I've got to the point in my life where we're looking back on those times. I can actually look back on them with a real sense of gratitude, because if it wasn't for all of that experience that I had around that time in my life, really, really painful things, I never would have had the courage that it took to move to the UK to take a chance on this person that I'd met. And Alan is lovely, and we have such a good, solid, strong relationship, but it's because of all the pain that I was brave enough to be able to take that step of moving 5,000 miles, which is a huge thing. It's hugely scary, but I wasn't afraid because I sort of knew that life couldn't be as bad as it had been, so I had nothing to lose, really. So it's really dear to me. I've been so looking forward to this pain to provision sort of episode, because that's what I do. I help people use their pain and turn it into fuel to go forward. And this week in particular, I've spoke with some amazing women in Cheshire East that are doing spectacular work to support each other and to support other people. And there was one person in particular, we were just discussing sort of her past and what's brought her into the profession that she's in and why she wants to help people. And she was sort of searching for, I don't know what my thing is. And we started talking about our past a little bit, and she mentioned the hard time that she'd had in the past. And I thought, and I could just see her, she just came alive when she was talking about this thing. And I said, that's it. You could change the world. You can reach people on a way that nobody else could. So if you can use your pain to connect with somebody else that's feeling something similar, how powerful is that, to be able to meet them in their place and say, I don't know exactly what it feels like to be you, but I know what it felt like for me when I was in that position. And you can just meet somebody on a really intimate level that you couldn't do if you didn't go through that yourself. It's such a powerful thing. And counselling is a really wonderful way to be able to explore your pain and to be able to deal with the pain. in a way that when you think about it, you don't think about it and bring up the same emotions of anger or frustration, you know, that you have, or sadness. You can actually think back on it sort of logically and say, right, yeah, that was not a great place to be, but these are the reasons why it happened, and this is how I cannot go back. You know, if you can explore it, you're less likely to go back to that same place again, aren't you? Because you can understand it. So yeah, that's exactly what I do with my work. That's exactly why I'm in business.
Oh yeah, thanks Jamie. So I mean, obviously in our environment, in the hair and beauty industry and barbering industry, we've talked about, you know, the fact one of the first weeks when we had you with us, Jamie, we introduced you, and the fact that we as hairdressers in our industry need to have support in terms of what we do and say and hear, and you know, confidentiality in our industry is vital, and you know, people do share things with you that you know, I think sometimes barbers and hairdressers are still renowned for being gossip shops, and I hate that. I have to say that with a passion, because it's not like that where we are, and I also think that what sets us aside from other salons is the fact that, you know, if somebody is gossiping in our shop, then I will sort of go to them and say, well, hang on a minute, you know, it's not us that gossip, it's you that gossip. And you know, so we sort of joke about it. Cam, what do you think in terms of like pain? What pains have you gone through like, you know, that's given you a purpose or a provision, learning how to be a barber? You know, what do people talk to you about? You don't know?
No.
Oh, okay. No, oh, sorry, darling. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. But you, I mean, you like talk to a lot of clients, don't you? And I mean, obviously, we can't ever hear what you're saying, but you know, I do notice that you've got a natural empathy with you. It's only not just because you're my son, but the fact that clients give us feedback, don't they, Emma? Maybe you might be able to see from the peripheral, you know, looking into the salon, what Cam.
Yeah, I think probably it's sometimes it takes somebody out of the situation looking in. It's perhaps a little bit easier. For example, when I see Cam work, he's fantastic. He's great with like all ages, the little tots. You know, he's got so much patience. But even like with the elderly, he's brilliant. He's just so good. But and the people in between. Yeah. You know, he's just brilliant. He really, he's just so caring and so thoughtful and genuine as well. So genuine. It's not fake. It's just, it's lovely. And yeah, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but not everybody has that ability, Cam.
Do you know what I can say? I've seen Cam work.
You know, obviously.
I think we got a little behind, didn't we? Sorry. I've seen Cam work with children before, and they absolutely light up around him. You know, he talks to them like they're people, and they just love him. I've seen it just from getting my own hair done and sort of watching you guys work. And Cam's got a gift with children.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but you've also been through your own pain, haven't you? With in terms of like with at school and, you know, things where like we're very similar in the fact that we've quite often been accused of being the class clown, and you know, because we want to make people laugh. But it's all about the pain that we've both been through in terms of being in trouble for being, you know, creative with our, whether it's with our vocabulary or in our actions and stuff like that. You know, we could probably tell a million stories of some of the things that, you know, you this side of the brain spectrum, whatever you call it, you know. And Jamie, you've been into teachers. We're very kinesthetic, so we learn and do things with our hands, whereas, you know, what that pain of having other people to understand where we're at actually has given us this provision to come and do these shows, which we talked about with Karen last night, didn't we, on, you know, the fact that we think we're silly quite often. Jamie, what does that, you know, where does that, how does it work like that? How does that happen when some people can be, you know, appear to be an idiot or silly or crazy or nuts, or you know, but we have this ability, not facility. Ability?
Ability. Well, so if you were talking about in terms of pain, we use masks as a way to sort of protect ourselves. So if, you know, if somebody's talking about something that feels a little bit close to home, or sort of reminds you of a period of time that's a little bit painful for you, or if you're in a position in a place where you don't really feel comfortable being vulnerable, you're going to use those things as a way to protect yourself. Because if people focus on your jokes and your humor, they're not gonna ask you how you're feeling, are they? And they're not gonna ask you sort of what's going on with you today, because those kinds of questions you'll avoid, because that could set you off, isn't it? So I would say in terms of pain, those masks are a form of self-preservation.
Yeah. So thanks for that. Yeah, and I think that, you know, obviously those of you that are watching may not have seen, well, you won't have seen last night's yet, but when you do, you'll hear like a compelling story of Karen, the author of Lillian White's journey, and how she's overcome the pain. We heard this morning about Lynn and Kelly, my friend in Australia, who has been we've all been through pain. So what we've thought to you that are watching this afternoon, whether you've seen any of the episodes of our little show, little chat show over the last few weeks, that we have put some questions out to you about taking yourselves back. What pain have you been through since lockdown on the 21st of March? And I've spent the morning this morning with a lovely friend of mine, social distanced obviously, they've just had a loss in their family, and it was the funeral yesterday, and it was just so sad to just to spend some time to think and just stop and think about, we are funny, we are creative, we can make people laugh, but we also have a very, very empathic ability as well. And I think sometimes we don't often stop and think about those people, do we, that are going through awful traumas. We see all these things on social media about making people laugh and jokes, and we've mentioned this before. So so if you're one of those people that are watching and you've been through trauma, just to know that we are thinking about you, and and
that there's help out there. You don't have to suffer with it forever. Just because you've been through something bad and terrible doesn't mean that it has to define who you are as a person. And you can be happy, you can find joy. And I don't just mean that mask you wear in front of your clients. I mean like the kind of joy that makes you feel giddy at a supermarket. Yeah, that's like some real kind of joy, isn't it? If you can find real happiness in everyday things, that's possible. You can explore what's bothering you and get to that place.
Yeah, which you did mention last week, Jamie. It's not like you shouldn't be feeling guilty if you want to laugh, and doing things. And
absolutely.
Sal.
So, next week we are.
Sorry. Just can I just say, because obviously I've got all the comments in front of me, and I've just
you.
Yeah, I tell you what, I don't know what's going on.
You're getting real technical. You're getting the queen of technology.
Multitasking.
Sorry, go
I
on.
can't do that. But no, I've just had some really cute messages from Natalie saying that Molly and I now have a forever friend in Amelia because of all the help, and that as a single mom, sometimes it's hard to accept help. But you need, sorry, I'm not very good at reading, hang on. But you need help. If you need help, there is the feeling of being judged all the time. I get that, Natalie. I had that. I had the shame of my marriage breaking up, all of that. And ask for help. If you need it, don't be afraid. It's really not a problem. But she's basically saying that if she didn't have the help from Emma and Molly from Safer Families, things could have been a lot different for me as a single mum. I always say, if you need the help, ask for it. Don't struggle on your own. Well done,
Yeah.
Natalie, because you asked for help and you got it, and so you're a very strong person. So we love you, and we love you.
So also as well, you know, like quite often, you know, I have over the years people have said things like, you quite often hear the term do-gooders and things like this. Karen said last night, which you'll see over the weekend when we post that recording, is that you can be the master of all trades. The saying goes, the master of all trades and jack of all trades and master of none, didn't she? But you can be a master of all trades as well, and you know, there's no reason why that can't happen. And I think that's pretty much proven that, you know, this single mum of 2 children reached out and asked for help from Emma, and you know, if we just embrace the fact that, you know, when we think about things, we need to reach out and help people.
I would say the only thing holding you back is your own fear.
Have all been about absolutely, and it's all about, you know, again, stepping into people's shoes and helping them. There's no big deal about that, you know. Just embrace and be compassionate. You know, there's no, you know. So anyway, we're going to be celebrating that next week, because next week we have got our lovely Geordie Ginger singer back, and she's going to be joining us with a global recording artist who you know, I met purely by another meeting that you sort of get on famously well with him, and planted a big kiss on him at Lime Street Station on Boxing Day at the Everton match. Can you believe?
You never did.
I did. You know, I couldn't resist it because I know him so well, and I'm fortunate to know him. And he was there at Lime Street Station on Boxing Day, and I thought the only way I can go and shock him is to just go up to him and give him a great big kiss on the lips, and I did. That's not going to happen again. Now, is it? We're not going to be able to do that. I wouldn't normally do something like that. So next week's all about celebration. What comes to your mind? What when we hear the word celebration, in terms of, you know, we break into song in the shop, what song comes into mind when I have just said that? Can you think of one? Or I know I'm putting you on the spot there. What comes into your mind when you hear the word celebration?
I love that song. I don't want to sing it.
Jamie, now, shall we sing it, Jamie? It is Fun Friday.
What song is it?
The Fun Friday song, you mean?
I don't know.
Not that one. No, we can play that. We can play that, but the celebration, it's actually called Celebrate.
Oh, that song as well.
Celebrate, good times
Come on.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna be able to go and dance again soon somewhere all together.
I love that one.
I know, and we've not even, you know, we can't even go into dance in the salon at the moment because we're not there, but we will, and we'll let you know. So join us next week, and we'll look forward to seeing you then. It's all about Celebrate, and the guy that's joining us knows a little bit more about Kool and the Gang than even me. So look forward to it. Have a great weekend, and don't forget, we're observing as well who's been watching us the most. We've got a little out of our clients, and we've got some gifts to give away. So thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everyone. Thanks again, Cam, for joining us.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Sam.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.